Hello everyone, Space Oyster here, and welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses, the Ashen Blue Lion Wolves. In the last part we did a paralogue, and in this one we will be doing another paralogue. Hopefully the last one for this month, but it should be an interesting one. This is another one of those paralogues I would recommend doing sooner rather than later. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
It's raining, Professor. On rainy days, the wound I got from the Death Knight hurts like fire. Every time it aches, I get angry. You understand, yeah? I'm sure they had their reasons to kidnap Flame, but still. Did they really need to stab me? What'd I have to do with it? They ruined my beautiful porcelain skin. Worse, they took off before I could stab them back. So rude.
That's rather enough, Manuella. Cease your moaning and give the professor a break.
Oh, stuff it, Hanaman. Unlike you, the professor has a big heart and listens to me talk about any problem I have.
More likely, your incessant ramblings offer no chance to interrupt.
Is that true, Professor?
Manuella isn't bothering me. Don't worry about it.
I knew it! You listen to me because you care about me, don't you? Ugh, go away, Hanaman. Leave us alone. And stop making me shout. It causes the old wound to hurt again.
Then perhaps you'd best stay quiet. Keep your emotions in check, I'd say.
Let's all get along.
Don't worry, Professor. We do this all the time.
Indeed, Manuella and I do not mix well. Been true for years. That said, if it were up to me, I would prefer speaking to her in a calmer manner.
It's not like I enjoy bickering with you. So maybe keep your mouth shut more often.
I state that which needs to be heard. For example,
Let's all get along.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Same. Apologies. I am here because I have new information on the Death Knight's hiding place.
What? Really? You could have started with that.
Several students have reported possible sightings on the western edge of the sealed forest. While the authenticity of these reports has yet to be verified, it is still a very real possibility. I was thinking I would report this to Seth as a precaution.
What? Why? We can't be slow. He's going to get away.
Protocol on this matter requires reporting to Seth, then Lady Rhea, then...
Professor, let's leave this old geezer behind and get going.
Old geezer? I am barely 15 years your senior. I will not hear such...
Stop talking. Let's gather a team and get going.
Yeah, let's get going.
I'll go scout ahead. I'm coming for you, Death Knight.
Manuella, wait. It would not do to get yourself killed without someone to avenge you.
Oh, and there's still rain in the background. That's a neat touch. But yeah, this is one of the paralogues I recommend doing sooner rather than later because it has a pretty neat reward that is very easy to get to. Or rather, there's an enemy that drops an item that's pretty easy to get to. Although it could be not so easy to get to if you don't have very many flyers. Yeah, but this is also one of the tougher paralogues, because you have 2 required units to bring, Manuella and Hanaman, as well as Boyleth, naturally, and you only get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional deployment slots. Flyers are going to be very handy this time around, because, well, I've pretty much already said it before, but being able to fly is a big boon here. Got Constance, Ingrid, and Annette, and they're all flyers. I'm thinking Yuri's a good one to bring, a good character to bring along too, but I'm not so sure. Happy isn't going to be as useful. Mounts, there's a lot of terrain here that will negatively affect people on horseback, so, if I bring Happy along on her, as a Valkyrie, she's just going to, get slowed down. It would be easier to actually have her dismount if I did bring her along. And that is a piece of advice to probably keep in mind for your any cavaliers or paladins you choose to bring along for yourself. Let's see. And then let's make sure everyone's got some items. For Manuella, I want to make sure she's got... Well, let's just go ahead and give her the white dragon scarf since I have nothing better. Oh, right. And then as for the requirements for this paralog, you need to recruit either Manuella and or Hanaman. You don't have to recruit both. Obviously, I only have Manuella in my group, but you can recruit both of them at pretty much the exact same time, so you're likely going to have both of them as playable units on your own file if you're recruiting everyone, or as many people as possible. Alright, and now let's go ahead and make sure we got everything ready to go. Yeah, Ingrid has her battalion restored, and do I need to repair anything? Come on. Repairs. Let's see. Yuri's bow's kind of running low. Yeah, I'm not as much of an expert on those these classes as I'd like to be. That's part of the reason why I keep putting off that video that I intended to make on the various classes in the game. I think I probably just won't bother with it. The biggest thing to keep in mind about picking a class in 3 houses is what stat bonuses you get when you change to that class. Assassin ends up being one of the better ones for people you want to use a sword with, so mainly Byleth, because Assassin has a pretty good speed modifier. The moment you change into that class, I think you get 5 extra points of speed, so it's very, very handy. Alright, and let's save there, and then we are ready to begin the battle. So, yeah, we have to defeat the enemy commander.
Manuela's in a tough spot, Professor. Even if she's only got herself to blame, we cannot abandon her.
Huh. We have plenty of visitors today. Let's stop their annoying rescue attempt.
Now that is a woman.
Uh-oh. They've noticed me. Here they come.
Alright, now I know what you're thinking, my dear viewer. You're probably thinking that since Manuella starts off far away and the boss is just directly to the north of us, or the enemy commander I should say, that the easiest approach to this chapter would be to just charge up the cliffs here and take out the enemy commander quick and easy and all that other fun stuff. Well, in that case, it could work if you've got a strong enough team for it. I probably do, but that's neither here nor there. However, I'm not too sure I'd recommend it for a first time. I'd only recommend doing it if you do not have a lot of flying units.
You weren't ready.
Because if you charge the boss, then all the enemies on the other side will start to charge after Manuella. And there are a couple of really bad enemies in her range, or not immediately in her range, but close enough that they can get to her in a couple of turns. So if you go directly for the boss, you're gonna have to rush. Whereas if you just have your flyers go to back up Manuella directly, or if you have warp at this point, I suppose you could use that too, then it should be an easier time for you.
Out of my way.
Oh yeah, there was the secondary effect of the Fetters of Domri, or the Dancer's Glove in effect. For pretty much all of these support relics like that, they all come with an effect. They all come with an effect where, if the person has the associated crest, they get Aegis and Pavise as a secondary skill on their while they have the item in their inventory or equipped or whatever. Aegis will reduce the amount of damage you take from some types of attacks, and Pavise from the other type. Some of them are ranged, the other ones are not.
I'm grateful.
Well, that's weird. Hanaman usually knows Thoron at this level. Oh well. Anyway, let's finger bang this guy. But anyway, Yeah, so Aegis will, I believe, reduce damage from
Should I have held back?
from swords, axes, and all the physical weapons. And Pavise, I think it does it for the other weapon for the other weapon types, long range. I think I have that maxed up. But you know what? All that matters is that you know that those two skills reduce the damage you take by half from weapons. So having a support relic like the Dancer's Glove equipped and the associated crest gives the character equipped with that item the chance to proc those skills whether or not they have them. Very handy stuff. Alright. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, right, yeah. So if you charge the boss, the Pegasus Knights that are at the very north end of the map will charge down towards Manuella, and they can reach her in 2 turns, and they can take her out in 1 round. So charging the boss puts you on a time limit to kill him before the Pegasus Knights get to her.
Let's take them out.
Because she's not likely to be leveled up unless you're doing this map much, much later. But I would recommend doing it sooner rather than later because the archer that is near Manuella, he drops an item called the Experience Gem that boosts the amount of experience points the character will earn. Very, very handy. I like getting it as soon as possible, so that way if any characters I have are falling behind the rest of the class, I can try and catch them up. It's also pretty handy for adjutants, since that's pretty much all I use them for, is to get experience. Let's go ahead and... not there. We don't want to put a net in range of the archer. Let's see here. You have to be careful of those assassins, too. Enemy assassins are always really fast. I think it's to the point where on maddening, they're more likely to double and one-round you than the other way around. So, assassins are always worth keeping an eye on. But yeah, Ingrid has that experience gem now, so it'll be very handy. Here are those dangerous Pegasus Knights. The thing that makes enemy Pegasus Knights more dangerous in this game as opposed to other Fire Emblems, they're usually a joke in Fire Emblem 7, for example, but what makes them deadly in this game is that they're treated as an advanced class rather than an intermediate one like they are for the player. But when it's for the enemy, then or when it's an enemy class, then it's an advanced class, and that means it gets higher stat modifiers. And, in addition to that, it also gets the skill called Lance Fair that boosts the wielder's lance-related abilities by 10. Or 5. Is it 5 or is it 10? Yeah, I think it's 5. Okay, but yeah, so enemy Pegasus Knights will get to deal even more damage, and they'll have higher stats than your Pegasus Knights. It's quite a chore.
They seemed ripe for defeat.
The weird thing is, I'm not entirely sure why they needed to make an enemy-exclusive version of the Pegasus Knight class, because
I'm so grateful.
there is an intermediate flying class. It's Wyvern Rider. Unless they thought Wyvern Rider's bases made them too tough to deal with. If that is a problem they encountered during playtesting, then that would explain why they didn't go through with it. Pegasus Knights would have lower defenses but higher resistance, but Pegasus Knights are a lot tougher to deal with mages, but someone armed with a bow like Yuri here, he would be able to make short work of any flyer. Much easier for a Pegasus Knight than a Wyvern Rider, since Wyverns tend to have much higher defense. Anyway, let's go ahead and get Yuri up there. And yeah. The flyers are pretty much mopping everything up. I often find that if you go to rescue, or if you go to where Manuela's at as soon as possible, then she's really, or Hanaman really doesn't get to do anything in this map. If you're intending to use Hanaman long term, this is not the map for him. That, or you just charge directly to the boss. That would probably make it easier to get to him. Actually, one other thing I just should have considered is that before this chapter, you do have the ability to, well, you do have Flane in your group, and Flane, she should know Rescue by this point, if I remember correctly. That, or she just needs a little bit of faith investment to learn it. You could just charge up and rescue Manuella if Flane has enough reach with it. It's but dependent on her magic stats, so if her growths haven't been doing her any favors, then that probably won't work out. But someone with rescue is an option, and Flame wouldn't be the only one who gets it. I do believe Constance can learn rescue if you invest in her faith, and Anna, the other DLC character that nobody really knows anything about, Anna also learns rescue when you invest in her faith, and she's got a boon in it, so she can learn it pretty quickly.
I aim for
I think it was Anna. I'm pretty sure it's Anna. I'm gonna assume it's Anna. Alright, anyway, let's get going. Boy, let's move.
I'm grateful.
And I do believe Trickster gets the same benefit as the other Thief classes, so Thief and Assassin basically, and that they can, or that they ignore terrain when they move. So pretty much everyone gets, has to deal with a penalty when they go through forests. Thieves, assassins, and I believe tricksters do not. Oh, that was a bad move on my part. I definitely need to kill this Swordmaster now, otherwise he is going to destroy Constance. Yeah, and I can't do it in one shot though, so I'll have to use Ingrid. Anyway, let's go for it, Ingrid. One thing I found surprising about Ingrid, I didn't know it before I started making this Let's Play, is that I didn't know Ingrid actually has the same base magic growth as her strength growth. And I didn't know that her spell list wasn't horrible either, so I don't know how good she would be in a magic class, but it's there as a thing she could do, I suppose. But I wouldn't recommend playing around with classes too much if you're going to play on Maddening. Hard mode and normal mode go nuts with whatever classes you want. But on Maddening, you should probably try and be as efficient as possible.
Everyone will be so pleased.
Probably. I'm sure there are ways to cheese it. I know you can do the low battalion build with Dimitri that just wrecks everything. Yeah, anyway, I recruited Manuella for this because I think I said it in the monastery exploration I did where I grabbed her, is that she learns Warp, and none of the Blue Lion students learn Warp, so she's the easiest recruit to grab who can get Warp outside of the DLC. So that's why I wanted to grab Manuella, and I also wanted to show off this paralogue, but I also wanted to show off what happens if you don't get Manuella and Hanaman. Well, yeah, I wanted to show off what happens if you don't recruit them, since their recruitment requirements are so easy, pretty much everyone is going to see them. I figured it might be interesting to show off what it's like when you don't grab them.
I won? That can't be right.
Although I learned in hindsight that not recruiting Manuella or Hanaman really only pays off on the Blue Lions route. I think I'm wrong about that. I need to look into it more, but yeah, I think they really only do anything when they're... that's very odd. Oh, yeah, I'm always used to Hanaman knowing Thoron, which is a 3-range thunder spell, but it looks like he only gets that if he's recruited as an NPC. It looks like he doesn't have it yet.
More polish never hurts.
Good job, Manuella, you gained a level. Yeah, and at first I was intending to keep Manuella in her monastery outfit, because it looks amazing on her, but it ends up being sillier than normal once I get her into other classes. It works fine if she's going to stick to a pure mage. I think it might be a bit weird as a Grimoire, but beyond that, it's just silly.
What's done is done.
Alright, let's go ahead and put a net right there. Yeah, that'll do. There's no way Constance is not killing this guy. Okay, Constance can kill that guy. We could end this chapter right now if we wanted to. Do I want to, though? Not too sure. Early clears are usually better. You know, now that I think about it, I should probably have given Ingrid an axe just in case. A lot of the advanced classes get us will get a fair skill, basically a skill that will boost their damage output with a particular weapon. Wyvern Riders, in this case,
Baby steps.
Wyvern Riders will get axe fair to do more damage with axes. So that's always handy. Belvedere would be a one-shot if it
We are the
hits.
Death God gang. We're all unstoppable.
But I'm not gonna bank on that. But yeah, being able to just have a flat weapon or a flat damage boost is always nice. So might as well aim for it when you get the chance, right? But then again, not having the weapon skill for it is
Manuella, are you uninjured?
bad too.
A few scrapes and bruises, but yes, I'm well enough.
Hey, we did it! And Ingrid was the MVP, surprising no one because she flies everywhere and kills everything. Now, yeah, we're gonna save the progress.
How could anyone think that was the Death Knight? It was obviously just an ordinary bandit. Oh well, I may not have found my revenge, but at least we got to retrieve stolen goods.
Manuella, you unthinking fool.
Hanaman, I've heard enough already.
How bloody stupid are you? If that were the real Death Knight, you'd have new, likely fatal wounds to match your first. Do you know how much you worried all of us? You should be ashamed.
Oh, no.
Oh, Hanaman's right.
Exactly. You are supposed to set an example for our students, yet you let emotion get the better of you?
You're right. So there, I said that. It's true, but... I'm sorry. I'll apologize to everyone later.
I should say I'm sorry as well. I lost my temper just now. I see you act so irrationally and I lose my wits. I care about you a great deal and wish to see you safe. Will you believe me?
Yes, of course. I'm the same way after all. I let my emotions get the best of me. We're both too old to be shouting all the time. You're awfully quick to put a bow on this. Are you sick of us already, Professor?
You're part of this, Professor. We are the only teachers this academy has. No need for bickering.
Wait, really?
Well said, Hanaman. Would you care to join me for a celebratory drink?
That sounds lovely. Perhaps a nice cup of tea is in order. ...
Yeah, I got distracted for a second and I missed my line. Nah, well, whatever. Anyway, I'll call that an episode here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.